Hey, what's up, coin hunters? Have you ever found a penny in your pocket, stared at it, and thought, what if this is worth a fortune? Well, today, you might want to check your change because we're talking about a simple little penny, just 1 cent, that could make you a millionaire. That's right, folks, the 1964 D Lincoln penny has been found in rare conditions worth up to $1.20 million. Trust me, I was just as skeptical until I heard this crazy story. But before I spill the details, hit that subscribe button because I'm always dropping knowledge on valuable coins, and you do not want to miss out on hidden treasures, alright? Let's get into why this particular penny is worth more than a brand new sports car first. A little background on the 1964 D Lincoln penny. This coin was minted in Denver, hence the D mint mark right below the date. In 1964, the US Mint was in overdrive, churning out pennies like my grandma handing out cookies. Over 3.8 billion of these pennies were made. So why is one worth a fortune? Well, let's talk about what makes this penny special. You see, back in the 60s, the US Mint was phasing out silver from coins. There were all sorts of changes happening, and some pennies from this year were struck with rare errors or on different planchets, making them insanely valuable. One of the biggest reasons a 1964 D penny can be worth millions is because of errors. Some were struck on the wrong type of metal, like a silver or aluminum planchet. Others have rare doubling effects, known as doubled die obverse, where the text and numbers look slightly blurry or shadowed. And then, of course, there are the high-grade coins, the ones that look brand new, like they never even saw the inside of a vending machine. Here's where things get interesting. A coin collector, let's call him Bob, found an old 1964 D penny while cleaning out his childhood piggy bank. Instead of tossing it into a Coinstar machine like the rest of us might, he decided to check it under a magnifying glass. And guess what? It had a rare double die error. After getting it graded by a professional coin service, it sold at auction for over $1 million. So, how do you know if your 1964 D penny is valuable? Here are a few quick things to look for. If the text or Lincoln's face looks doubled, you might have a rare variety. Look at the color. Red-toned uncirculated pennies are worth more than brown or worn-out ones. Get it graded. A professional grading service, like PCGS or NGC, can confirm if your penny is truly special. And let's talk about current market value. While most 1964 D pennies are only worth face value, those in top-notch condition can sell for anywhere between $5,000 to $1.2 million. The highest auction sale so far? A pristine, mint-condition 1964 D penny that sold for over $1 million. Underestimate a penny. That little copper coin in your drawer could be the key to your next big payday. And if you're a coin collector, always keep your eyes open for hidden gems, because you never know when a rare find might land in your hands. And now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever found a rare coin in your pocket or collection? Drop a comment below and let me know. And hey, before you go, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a video on valuable coins, because let's be real, who doesn't love the idea of turning pocket change into big money? See you in the next one, and happy hunting! Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Imagine this, you're digging through your spare change, maybe looking for a quarter for the vending machine, when suddenly you spot a 1973 D Lincoln penny. You think, just another old penny, and toss it back in the pile. But hold up. What if I told you that this tiny, unassuming coin could be worth a life-changing $1.3 million? Yeah, you heard that right, a single penny that could buy you a mansion, a sports car, or like, a lifetime supply of pizza. Today, we're diving deep into the surprising value of the 1973 D Lincoln penny. We'll cover what makes this coin so special, how to know if you have one, and of course, how you can cash in big time. And stick around because I've got a hilarious personal story about how I almost lost a valuable coin without even realizing it. Trust me, you won't want to miss this. So, let's break this down. In 1973, the Denver Mint produced a ton of Lincoln pennies, over 300 million, to be exact. That's a lot of pennies floating around, right? So why on earth would one of them be worth $1.30 million? Well, as with most valuable coins, it all comes down to rarity and mistakes. The most valuable 1973 D pennies have unique errors or special features, such as this happens when the design is accidentally stamped twice, creating a shadow effect. If Lincoln's face or the lettering looks a little blurry or doubled, you might have hit the jackpot. Off-center strikes. Sometimes, the penny wasn't perfectly lined up in the press, making the design look shifted. The more dramatic the error, the more valuable the coin. Some 1973 pennies were mistakenly struck on different metal blanks, like a dime planchet. If your penny looks lighter or has a weird color, it could be rare. If your penny looks brand new, with a perfect shine and no scratches, it could be graded as MS67 or higher, which makes it insanely valuable. Now, I know what you're thinking, I've got a jar full of pennies at home. How do I know if I have one of these? Great question. Let's talk about what to look for. Okay, so before you go dumping your couch cushions onto the floor, let's go over the steps to check your 1973 penny first. Make sure it's a 1973 penny with a little D below the year. If you see an S or no mint mark, it's a different version. Grab a magnifying glass and check for doubling, off-center designs, or weird shapes. The more dramatic the error, the better. A standard 1973 penny should weigh about 3.11 grams. If yours is way off, it might have been struck on the wrong planchet. Hop online and search for recent auction results. Some 1973 pennies have sold for thousands or even millions of dollars. Now, let me tell you about a time I almost threw away a valuable coin. A few years ago, I was cleaning out my junk drawer because, let's be honest, we all have one. You know, the drawer filled with old receipts, random keys, and about 1,000 pennies. I started sorting through the coins, planning to take them to the bank. But then, I saw this old, kind of shiny penny with a tiny D under the date. I almost didn't think twice about it, but then I remembered hearing about rare pennies online. So, I did what any smart collector would do. I Googled it. Long story short, after checking the weight, looking at the details, and watching a bunch of YouTube videos, I realized I had a rare 1973 penny. Now, mine wasn't worth $1.3 million, bummer, I know, but it was still valued at a few $100. Not bad for something I almost tossed in the Coinstar machine, right? Alright, folks, we've covered a lot today. The 1973 Lincoln penny might seem like just another copper coin, but some of them are worth a jaw-dropping $1.3 million. If you've got one of these lying around, take a closer look. It might just change your life. Like this video if you learned something new. Subscribe for more tips on rare coins and how to spot money-making collectibles. Hit that notification bell so you never miss out on a valuable coin tip. And hey, if you do find a rare penny, let me know in the comments. Who knows, you might be sitting on a hidden fortune. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we uncover hidden treasures hiding right under your nose, sometimes in your pocket change. Now, let me ask you something. Have you ever tossed a penny aside, thinking, it's just a penny, what's the big deal? Well, what if I told you that one of those pennies could be worth a whopping $1.40 million? Yes, you heard that right. Today, we're diving into the story of the 1967 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, a tiny piece of copper that could change your life if you find the right one. So, before you start flipping over your couch cushions looking for spare change, let's break down why this penny is so valuable, what to look for, and how you might just hit the jackpot. The backstory of the 1967 Lincoln penny. First things first, why doesn't this penny have a mint mark? Well, back in 1965, the US Mint decided to stop using mint marks temporarily. Why? Because there was this wild coin hoarding craze happening at the time. People were scooping up every coin they could get their hands on, thinking they'd be worth big bucks one day. Which, ironically, is exactly what we're talking about today. The Mint wanted to put an end to it by removing mint marks from all coins between 1965 and 1967. This means that all 1967 pennies were struck without a mint mark, regardless of where they were produced. But what makes some of these pennies so incredibly valuable? That's where the fun begins. Not every 1967 penny is worth a fortune. If that were the case, we'd all be millionaires by now. But a select few have unique characteristics that drive their value sky high. Here's what to look for. Some 1967 pennies have double dies, off-center strikes, or other minting errors that collectors go crazy for. If your penny looks a little weird, you might be onto something. If your penny looks like it just rolled out of the mint yesterday, that's a good sign. High-grade coins are worth significantly more than ones that have been jingling around in pockets for decades. Some 1967 pennies were mistakenly struck using leftover high-quality planchets from previous years. These pennies are rarer than a four-leaf clover on St. Patrick's Day, making them incredibly valuable. A verified 1967 no-mint mark Lincoln penny in pristine condition was recently valued at $1.4 million. That's enough to buy a house, a luxury car, or approximately 140 million McChicken sandwiches. Not that I'm suggesting you do that, but hey, options are nice. The one that got away now, let me tell you a quick story that still haunts me to this day. A few years back, I was helping my grandmother clean out her old jewelry box when I stumbled upon a small coin pouch. Inside? A bunch of pennies, nothing special, right? One of them happened to be a 1967 penny, and I remember thinking, cool year. But I didn't even bother looking at it closely. I tossed it in the spare change jar and completely forgot about it. Fast forward a few years, I start getting into coin collecting, and I learn about the rare 1967 penny. You can probably guess what happened next. I went back to check the jar, and the penny was gone. Just vanished. Probably spent on a pack of gum or something. Always check your change. You never know when you're holding a mini fortune in your hands how to find one and what to do if you do. If you're feeling lucky and want to check your collection, here's what you should do. Look through old piggy banks, coin jars, or even that mysterious junk drawer everyone has in their house. Look for any errors, unique features, or signs that it's in exceptional condition. If you think you have a winner, send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll tell you exactly what it's worth. If your penny turns out to be rare, don't just sell it to the first person who offers you cash. Auction houses and serious collectors will often pay the highest price. The surprising truth about the 1967 no mint mark Lincoln penny. Who knew a tiny piece of copper could be worth more than a luxury sports car? So, the next time you find a penny on the ground, don't just walk past it. It could be the start of something huge. And if you learned something new today, or if you're about to go digging through your spare change jar, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe for more coin hunting tips and rare coin discoveries, and turn on notifications so you never miss a chance to learn about hidden treasures. Who knows? The next $1 million coin might be sitting in your pocket right now. Hey, coin lovers! Have you ever checked your spare change and thought, man, I wish one of these pennies was worth a fortune? Well, what if I told you that a simple, everyday penny from 1949, one without a mint mark, could be worth up to $1.5 million today? Yeah, that's right. A penny. The same thing most people walk right past on the sidewalk or toss into a jar without a second thought. Now, before you start flipping over every penny you own, stick around, because today we're diving deep into the story behind this little copper wonder. We'll cover why it's so valuable, what makes it rare, and how you can find one. Plus, I've got a personal story that'll make you laugh and maybe even double-check your pockets before you spend another cent. First, let's break it down. This penny was minted in Philadelphia, which is why there's no mint mark. Back then, the US Mint was still cranking out tons of Lincoln pennies, but most weren't anything special. So, what makes this one different? Well, for starters, it's rare. While millions of 1949 pennies were made, only a handful have survived in pristine condition. And when I say pristine, I mean near perfect, untouched, shiny, and free of major scratches. The kind of penny that looks like it time-traveled straight from 1949 to today. And now, here's where things get interesting. Some of these pennies were struck using a special high-relief die, giving them extra detail and depth. Combine that with an uncirculated condition, and you've got a coin collectors go absolutely bananas over. Okay, so let's talk numbers, because this is where it gets fun. If you happen to find a 1949 no mint mark penny in average condition, it's worth maybe a couple of bucks. Not bad for a penny, right? But if you find one in near perfect condition, hold on to your hat, because it could fetch up to $1.5 million at auction. Well, a lot of it comes down to supply and demand. There are thousands of coin collectors willing to pay top dollar for ultra-rare pieces, and when a gem like this pops up, bidding wars happen. Imagine two rich collectors, each determined to own the best Lincoln penny collection ever. Next thing you know, the price skyrockets. Now, I have to tell you a quick story. A while back, I was visiting my grandpa, who, like most grandpas, had a giant jar of old coins. You know the kind, right? Full of dusty, forgotten change from decades past. I actually found a 1949 penny. My heart started racing. Was this the $1 million coin? Was I about to become rich off a piece of copper? Well, not exactly. Turns out, mine had way too many scratches and wasn't in great shape. But hey, I still made $5 off it. And more importantly, it reminded me that valuable coins can be hiding anywhere, you just have to know what to look for. So, how do you know if you've got a jackpot coin in your collection? Here's a quick checklist. It should be 1949. No mint mark means it was made in Philadelphia. The shinier and less worn it is, the better. If it looks like it just left the mint, you might have a winner. Some 1949 pennies have slight misprints or doubled letters, making them even rarer. If you think you have a valuable one, take it to a coin dealer or send it to a grading service. They can tell you its true market value, and if you're sitting there thinking, well, great, I don't even own any old pennies, don't worry. Start checking your change. Go through those old piggy banks, your grandparents' coin jars, or even roll searching at the bank. You never know what you'll find. Let's say you do find a 1949 no mint mark penny in mint condition. First of all, congrats. Now, what do you do with it? Seriously, don't even think about it. Collectors want coins in their original state, and cleaning can lower the value. Companies like PCGS or NGC can professionally grade your coin, which adds to its credibility and value. Auctions are usually the best way to get top dollar. But if you're not in a hurry, you can also find private collectors who will pay big money. So, there you have it. A simple 1949 no mint mark penny, something most people would overlook, could be worth a life-changing $1.5 million. Just imagine finding one and suddenly realizing you're sitting on a fortune now. If this has inspired you to start checking your pennies, you're on the right track. And if you want more tips on valuable coins, rare finds, and money-making coin strategies, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I've got tons of exciting videos coming up, and trust me, you won't want to miss them. Hit that like button, drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin, and share this with a friend who might just be walking around with $1 million penny in their pocket. Hey everyone! Let's play a quick game. What if I told you that a single penny, something you might have sitting at the bottom of your couch, could be worth $1.6 million? Sounds crazy, right? But guess what? It's true. Today, we're talking about the 1968 D Lincoln penny, and why one specific version of this coin is turning heads in the collector's market. So, before you go spending those pennies on a gumball machine, do those even still exist? Let's dive in and see why this coin could make you rich. Stick around because I'm not just throwing numbers at you, I've got a crazy story about almost missing out on a valuable coin myself. Trust me, you don't want to miss this one. Alright, first things first, what makes this little copper coin so valuable? I mean, the 1968 D penny was minted in Denver, and millions of them were made, so why would anyone pay over $1 million for one? Well, here's the deal. Some of these pennies have rare errors and varieties that make them extremely valuable. And collectors? Oh, they love rare errors like a kid loves candy. If you're lucky enough to find one of these rare 1968 D pennies, here's what you should be looking for. Some of these pennies have doubling on the lettering, which is called a doubled die error. If your coin has this, you might be sitting on a gold mine, or, well, a copper mine. This happens when a penny is mistakenly made with the wrong metal. Ever seen a penny that looks silver? That could be an error worth serious cash. Coins in high-grade condition, like MS67 or MS68, are insanely rare. If your penny looks brand new, you might be in luck. Now, here's a wild story. Imagine a guy walking into a coin shop with a handful of pennies, totally clueless that one of them is worth over $1 million. Well, that actually happened. A collector found a 1968 D penny in his old coin jar. At first, he didn't think much of it, but after a quick check under a magnifying glass, he noticed the doubling on the lettering. He sent it off to get graded, and boom, it was valued at $1.6 million at an auction. Now, imagine if he had just tossed that penny into a vending machine for a pack of gum. That would have been the most expensive piece of gum in history. So, now that we know this penny exists, how do you make sure you don't accidentally spend a fortune at the gas station? Look closely at the lettering, especially Liberty and In God We Trust. If you see doubling, you might have a winner. If your penny looks different from others, it might be a special strike. Companies like PCGS or NGC can certify your coin's value. If it's rare, collectors will be lining up with their checkbooks. Never underestimate your spare change. That little coin you thought was worthless? It could be worth more than a luxury car, a house, or even your entire retirement fund. So, next time you see a penny on the ground, don't just walk past it, pick it up. Who knows? It might just be your $1 million payday. And hey, if you enjoyed this and want to learn more about valuable coins hiding in plain sight, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I'll be dropping more coin hunting tips, crazy collector stories, and ways to turn your spare change into serious cash. Let me know in the comments, have you ever found a rare coin? Or do you have a jar full of pennies waiting to be checked? Share your stories below, and I'll see you in the next video. Hey, what's up, coin lovers? Have you ever found a penny in your couch cushions, picked it up, and thought, just a penny? Well, what if I told you that one of those little copper coins could actually be worth $1.70 million? Yep, you heard that right, a single 1971 no-mint mark Lincoln penny could turn you into a millionaire now. I know what you're thinking. Come on, a penny? Worth a fortune? That sounds like something my grandpa would make up to get me to stop spending all my money on snacks. But this is no myth, my friends, this is real. And today, we're diving deep into why this specific penny is so valuable, how you can spot one, and what makes it worth a life-changing amount of money. And stick around till the end, because I've got a wild personal story about almost throwing away a valuable coin, one that still haunts me to this day. Trust me, you don't want to make the same mistake. First, let's break this down. Normally, pennies from 1971 were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. But here's the kicker, if a penny was made in Philadelphia, it usually doesn't have a mint mark. So, you might be wondering, what's the big deal then? Well, here's where it gets crazy. There are some rare errors and variations in the 1971 pennies that make them worth a fortune. Some of them were accidentally struck with the wrong planchet, creating super rare variations. Others have insane doubling errors, where the text and design look like they've been slightly printed twice. These errors make collectors go absolutely wild, and that's why the price skyrockets, alright? So you're probably staring at your piggy bank right now, wondering if you've been sitting on a fortune. Here's how you check. Look for a 1971 penny with NO mint mark underneath the date. If it has a D or an S, it's from Denver or San Francisco, not what we're looking for. The most valuable ones have doubled text, especially on the words Liberty or In God We Trust. If the letters look slightly blurry or doubled, jackpot. If you find a 1971 penny with no mint mark and it looks brand new, you're onto something big. Coins in MS67 or higher grades are the ones that fetch top dollar. Some rare errors were mistakenly made using bronze or silver planchets. If your penny feels different than others, it's worth testing. I get it. It sounds absolutely nuts that a coin most people wouldn't even bother picking up off the sidewalk could be worth more than a luxury house. But here's the thing, coin collectors are passionate people. They're willing to drop serious cash on ultra-rare finds of the 1971 no-mint mark penny is rare because of those errors we just talked about, and when something is rare in the world of coin collecting, its value can skyrocket. The more unique, the more valuable. And when an auction comes around, and two collectors really want it, that price can shoot through the roof. The one that got away now, I promised you a personal story, and here it is, a tale of tragedy, regret, and a lesson learned the hard way. A few years ago, I was helping my grandma clean out her old drawers, and we stumbled upon a dusty jar of pennies. She laughed and said, "You can take whatever you want from there. It's just pennies." So, I grabbed a handful and casually tossed them in my pocket. Later that night, I started sorting through them and saw a 1971 penny with no mint mark. But, I kid you not, I thought, it's just a penny, and threw it in the spend later pile. Fast forward a few months, and I started getting into coin collecting. One day, I came across an article about the rare 1971 no mint mark penny and immediately had a heart attack. I scrambled to find that coin, but it was gone. Either I had spent it on a bag of chips, or it was sitting in someone else's pocket, completely unaware of its value. That could have been $1.7 million right in my hands. Gone. Forever. The 1971 no mint mark Lincoln penny is insanely valuable, with some selling for as much as $1.70 million. Look for doubling errors and check the overall condition. Those factors determine the value. Never assume a penny is just a penny. You might be holding a small fortune in your hand, and most importantly, don't be like me. Don't accidentally spend your rare coin on a bag of chips. Now, here's the deal. If you found this video helpful, or at least entertaining, hit that like button so more people can learn about the hidden treasures in their spare change. And if you want to see more videos about rare and valuable coins, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss out on the next $1 million penny story. Who knows? Maybe your next lucky find will change your life. Hey there, coin hunters and curious minds. Have you ever picked up a penny, tossed it into your pocket, and thought, just another 1 cent piece? Well, hold on to your hats, because today, we're diving into the story of a tiny coin that could change your life, the 1985 D Lincoln penny, worth a jaw-dropping $1.80 million. Yeah, you heard that right. A penny. 1 cent. A coin most of us don't even bother picking up off the ground. But this little guy could be your ticket to a life-changing fortune. So, before you go spending that pocket change on a vending machine snack, you might want to check if you're holding onto a piece of history. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly why this penny is so valuable, how to identify one, and what makes it so special. Oh, and stick around because I've got a personal story about a penny that almost slipped through my fingers, literally. Let's get into it. Alright, so let's break it down. The 1985 D Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, hence the little D mint mark right below the date. But here's the kicker, not all 1985 D pennies are valuable. Most of them are worth, well, a penny, but a small number of these coins were minted with crazy rare errors and high-quality finishes that make them worth a fortune. The secret behind the $1.8 million penny. There are three main reasons why this specific penny is sold for such a high price. The most valuable 1985 D pennies have unique mistakes like double die errors, off-center strikes, or even a rare planchet mix-up where the penny was mistakenly struck on a different metal. Most pennies get scratched, bent, or just worn out from years of circulation. But the ones that remain in near-perfect condition, graded MS67 or higher, are what collectors are willing to pay top dollar for. The rarest coins drive the highest prices. When collectors go head-to-head in auctions, things get wild, and prices skyrocket. Imagine finding a simple penny in your change and later realizing it's worth more than a Ferrari, a beach house, or even a private island. Insane, right? Now, if you're wondering, okay, how do I know if I have the golden ticket of pennies? Here's what to look for. Look closely at Lincoln's face, the date, or the word Liberty. If anything looks like it's got a shadow or a second image, you might have a double die error. If your penny looks super crisp with a sharp rim, that's a good sign it might be a high-grade coin. Some of the rarest details are super tiny, so grab a magnifier and get detective-level serious. Alright, story time. A few years ago, I was at a flea market, the kind where you find weird antiques, homemade candles, and that one guy selling knockoff sunglasses. I saw a jar labeled old coins, 5 for $1, and thought, why not? I picked out a few pennies, went home, and forgot about them. Fast forward a year, and I'm watching an auction online where a rare 1985 D penny sold for over $1 million. Something clicked in my brain. I had picked up an 85 D from that flea market. I sprinted to my coin box, pulled it out, and heartbreak. It wasn't the rare version. It was just a regular penny. Worth 1 cent. 1 single cent always, because one small detail could be the difference between flipping burgers and flipping $1 million coin. So, there you have it, folks, the incredible, mind-blowing, and slightly heartbreaking story of the 1985 D Lincoln penny. Now, before you go dumping out your piggy banks, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a coin worth life-changing money. And hey, if you've ever found a cool or rare coin, drop a comment below. Let's swap stories. I want to hear if any of you have had a close call with a valuable penny.